Hey everybody, Bear Marquette 1223 here with a video showing the abandoned railbed that's by my house. Well, now you're looking into this developed little parking lot sort of thing and you're like, wait a minute, well, where is it? Well, you're looking right at it, it's just it's been developed. You look far enough back, you can see where it begins again. And we'll get to that later. If I turn around, and you can see some of it that hasn't been developed or overturned. You can see the drainage ditches. You see the drainage ditch on this side. Walk through some of this crap. You can see a built-up embankment on this side. Now I'm showing this to you now because if I wait too long, this stuff will turn all green again and get overgrown, and then you won't be able to see it. But this is probably the most undeveloped portion of the railbed. It's still natural, left untouched mainly by humans since the railroad tracks were ripped out many years ago. It's only about maybe 20 feet or so long if you look far enough down. That's the Kent Trail. So it doesn't really, and then it goes on for about maybe another couple more miles or so before it ends again, because then the rest of the bed's been developed by people. That way it goes a little bit undeveloped and then it hits 44th Street and then it turns back into the Kent Trail once again. So there's very few portions left of this railbed that are close enough to my house that are undisturbed. So let me do a little walking through here, show you around right here. Oh, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just checking it out back in here.
Oh, just taking pictures?
Yeah. Because I don't know if you know it or not, but this is old railroad bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a metal detector, you never know what you'll find.
I know, I have one, but I haven't been able to make it down here.
Yeah.
So, because usually it's really nasty back in here.
Yeah. Have fun.
Alright, you too. I found a little bit of proof laying down here in the drainage ditch. There's a couple of them back here, but if you look right in here, railroad tie buried underneath all these leaves. I think I saw another one up this way a little bit if I go back here. Right here. See right there, railroad tie. Now I'm gonna go to the other side of this and show you the rest of the bed from there. Hey everybody, 1223 back here. I'm still at the same section. Forgot to just now notice, actually, even though I walked right by it, that there's an old fence right here. But the reason why they diverted this trail was because of the fact that there's an apartment complex and buildings down there, and they didn't want people cutting right through it. Plus, trying to cross 44th Street is a really big hassle because it's one of the busiest roads around here, so it would not be easy. So they had to diverted the trail by about maybe 100 yards or so and jogged it over so it follows a couple of roads and then comes right back in here and follows the rest of the railbed. But now I'm going to go over to the other side of the structure over here and take a better look at the long portion, because there's also some other stuff in there I want you to see that I have found on top of the ground. So, just a second and I will show you everybody. 1223 back here with some more stuff on the old railbed by my house. You're looking back down at the other way. That's the opposite end of the gate that you saw way down there. You can see where the trees are there, where the bed begins again. I didn't want to go through there because one, it's been developed, and two, it is very muddy. I would probably sink about maybe a half foot into the ground. But a little bit of evidence here to suggest what the railbed is, the pile of rotting ties that's still there. The ties are in somewhat good shape in some parts, so who knows how long they've been out of the ground, but time to take a little walk down the rail bed, and I'll show you how long this actually is. Now, usually this where I'm walking is usually very weed infested in the year, so not very often you get to walk down through here. But you can see it goes on, but through here it was a little bit developed. It was pushed to the side. A lot of the bed is gone. It's very flat. But it goes on for about maybe a half or a couple blocks in distance down the line. And I'm gonna stop here because one of the things I found on here is coming up and I want to show it to you, but I need 2 hands. So just a second. Now here I am back again. Just stopped for a little bit right off the side of the bed. Probably about a quarter mile or roughly away from 44th Street, and laying in the ground, an old whistle post. The thing is, originally was about 8 feet long. Obviously been broke out of the ground. It's actually broken 3 pieces, held together by rebar. It's concrete. It's very heavy. I'm actually having to hold this thing up pretty hard in order to show this to you, because the bent rebar makes it very difficult to hold up. But just thought I'd show you that, and I'm going to let this thing fall back down. And nobody exactly knows what it is, because they are not me, and they don't know railroads like I do. But whistle posts are usually placed about a quarter mile away from a railroad crossing. There is not one down that direction for a ways. The nearest one is 44th Street, so that's pretty significant. That was the first thing I found that showed that this was a railroad bed. Now ditches are starting to become a little more pronounced back on here again. You can see there's a couple mounds up here. This is where the apartment service dumped a couple pile of wood chips back here, so it's very soft through here. Usually in the warmer months it's very squishy, very areous, so it usually you just sink right into it. But now you can see the bed. This is probably the best portion of the bed through here. Roughly 10 feet wide, exactly what it needs to be for a single track main line. Ditches are well defined. There's not like any ties or anything laying alongside the beds. I want to metal detect this, but but my dad says I need to get permission from whoever owns this before I do it, so in case I don't break any laws. But yep, this here is. Now I'm having a little bit of a debate on who possibly owned this previously. I don't think the Kent County Trail Commission owns it now. Wait a minute, what's that? That tree? It looks like that might be a tie right there. It's square shaped. I'll have to check it out one time. I'm not going to do it down here because sandals are not the best for climbing on hills and stuff. But I see people back in here all the time that are walking and stuff because you can easily get to this. But this, I'm in kind of a debate on who owned this. There's about 3 or 4 railroads or so I think that possibly own this. One was the Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad, because this line connects with one of their former main lines, or what's left of it, that's now controlled by Norfolk Southern. At least I think it's a former main line, and goes up to, yep, here's one of the things that's been built back in here. They built a couple of these things. You'll see them here coming up quite a bit. But it goes all the way into Grand Rapids, at least that's as far as I've traced it, and goes down south for about maybe a couple another 20 miles. But it's only about very few many miles of this have actually been built on. Another thing would be the New York Central, who took this over from the Lakeshore Michigan Southern. This is a more recent guess. You can see here where it's been leveled across and connected to. But they possibly took this from them. You can see though that the bed is now more or less defined. It's leveled out. It's been built on. But there's still well-defined things here. The bed's actually wider. I don't know if it just got pushed down or what, but it could possibly be maybe 15 to 20 feet. Could have been a very narrow double track, or maybe just a single track, but it's just gotten laid out. But like I said though, I mean, there's not too many evidence. I mean, the only real evidence is the fact that there's an raised little lane of ground that's going through here. A little bit of ditch right there, a lot of ditch over there. Trees have kind of started to advance back onto the line, but as you can see though, they are still pretty well out of the way. Yeah, a lot of tires. Somebody had a little exercise course going on here. Oh, there's a little something maybe. That's actually right alongside here. I'll take a look at that. If I can find somewhere where my bike kickstand will hold. Try right there. Oh yeah, this is a tie. If I can get in here. Yeah, it's right now it's kind of frozen to the ground, but there's a railroad tie. Like I said though, I'll take one time and I'll go down in through here and look through these ditches. I guarantee, just about fell, that there's a lot of stuff laying in these ditches that are just buried by leaves and vegetation. And I will take a look through these one time. Definitely, once I get the permission to do so by whoever owns this. Yeah, but this side of the rail bed is still very much intact versus this side. This side's been very heavily destroyed. Now, the bed is going to... Now, we're coming up to... I don't know if you can see or not. If you look way down there... Yep, you can see that. Those are cars from 44th Street. Most likely the same street that the whistle marker we found all the way back down there was from. And over here we got a small little place of business. Over here is the apartment complex. And then there's a place of business right there. That's a medical building. Another little structure thing here built for exercise means. An electrical box placed in here that is obviously not been accessed in a while. But now the bed's actually becoming more and more defined. It's been weathered down on this side a little bit. I'm not really walking the center of it anymore. But this obviously was a very high set of tracks, and you can see way down in there where the bed sloped off. It's becoming more defined again over here, which is good. There's a little paved path we get to cross. It leads up to the back of the medical complex, which crosses a small stream and then connects with the parking lot of this little strip mall-like building. It's got a bunch of businesses in it, so we're going to cross that. And then up here is the most untouched part of the rail bed, even more untouched than the other one. It's very overgrown. Usually it's very difficult to get through. A lot of plants that could really give you some nasty itch. A lot of like poison ivy, stuff like that. Usually is up in here, so you have to be very careful usually in the summer months, or in the warmer months, and not so much right now. But we're gonna go over it. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Whoops. yeah, I swear. I just lost my sandal. Okay, I got it. All right, we're good. Now I'm gonna go over this, and now we're up in here. But now we're going to go way up here, and you can see how high we are. Probably about 10 feet or so, judging by how far down. I'll get a better look for you here coming up. But you look over here, oh, there's a pretty good ditch there. Looks like it could still hold water even. There's a stream. Here's a good shot to look at. I won't even do that. This gives me an idea of how high we are. I mean, that goes down there quite a ways. It's not exactly, I mean, it's down there, but it's not, I mean, it's a long way down, but it's not a really long way down. Getting closer to the end here before we hit roadway and then develop trail, but this is probably going to be the worst section in terms of accessibility to do anything with. Yet, however, I guarantee you, though, we will find many, many things in here because of the fact that this is so untouched and whatnot. So, I mean, even there, you can see where the ditches are even dug on both sides. This means they were active way, way down in there at one point, probably past those trees up to where that stream was, and kept this all cleared away. Because this is all new growth. This isn't exactly old growth timber we got going on here. A lot of these trees are maybe anywhere from 10 to 20 years old that have started growing in here. Now we're starting to see a little bit more trash because we're so close to the road. As we're getting closer, you can hear the car traffic pick up because 44th Street is going. Up in here. I'll stop my bike right here because there's a fallen tree in the way, and I'm pretty far back to where nobody will see this because you don't want nobody stealing this thing. Just gonna walk a little bit up here, but now the bed starts to go away, starts to get flattened out. And then you see these guardrails here. You can actually get around them pretty easily. They're only meant to keep out vehicles. And then right there is 44th. And then down there is paved trail. And that's the other end of the Kent Trail. But I'm really glad I got to show you this trail. Or this, not really trail, but this abandoned railbed. And I hopefully will be able to show you other parts of it because I have found other pieces. In fact, even at one end, way, way down in Grand Rapids, I have found a section of track that is still in place. That is very overgrown and it'll be very hard to get to. So, in fact, I never even explored it yet. So, because it's usually choked with poison ivy. So, but this has been a rare look outside the home of Pierre Marquette, 1223, in his neck of the woods. In fact, here's to tell you an idea. If you look way down that direction, that is actually Rivertown Crossings Mall in that general direction. In fact, I don't think you actually saw it, but we are right next to the Rivertown Crossings Mall. So that tells you right exactly where this is at. But I'm going to get the heck out of here. And hope to show you some more soon on maybe if I find anything in here. Or what. But I'm going to call her quits for the day. 1223. Out.